What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Shuggy from Shook Earth Media, and today we are celebrating the end of an era. I had to wear Breaking Bad shirt because this is the end, presumably, of my favorite TV show of all time, and I include Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul as one thing because to me they are one and the same, and this is such a perfect conclusion. We got so many great fan service moments. This is really one for the fans, and we wrapped it up in such a satisfying way. And I don't want to be sad today. It's a celebration right now. I'm just couldn't be happier with how amazing the show was. And the last season going out on top. Not many shows get to do that. And we really, really are lucky and blessed as fans to have been given such a great series, great, amazing creators, everybody doing their job amazingly. The acting, writing, directing, everything amazing, and I could not be happier. So I just wanted to come out and be grateful for the show. And I mean, this show really affected my life. Breaking Bad as well. I mean, part of the reason I went to film school and why I'm pursuing the career that I'm pursuing is because of how much I love this show. So I just want to be thankful. I don't want to be sad today. It's not happening. Maybe tomorrow. But with that, let's just jump right into the episode. But before that, I got to remind you guys, if you like this type of content, please subscribe, please like, please comment. I'd love to hear your opinions down below. And let's just get right into the episode. I can't believe this is the last time we're going to do this. Okay, so we start off with a flashback. I was not expecting this flashback, but I should have been with the preview we got last week. We saw Saul's car that was shot up and in the ditch from the desert episode, and I didn't expect that we'd see it, but once I did see it, I was like, okay, it makes sense. We're here with Mike, getting one last scene in for Mike. And that's all these flashbacks are getting one capper scene with an important character. So we'll get to the ones later. But one of the themes that keeps recurring is this idea of a time machine. A completely frivolous concept that is brought up by Jimmy repeatedly. And what are they really talking about? It's regret, of course. He's not talking about frivolous time machine thing. He's talking about regret. And this is from the episode where Jimmy and Mike were lost in the desert. They find water, they're resting, and then this conversation comes up, and of course Jimmy's talking about some frivolous stuff, but Mike focuses on what he wants to change about his own life. He regrets that he took a bribe, and at first he says the date that I believe is the date that his son was murdered, but he realizes that he should go back further because the real first misstep was when he took the first bribe. He was a corrupt cop. That's what led to his son ultimately dying as well. So it's a beautiful moment. You know, there's a lot of emotions in me in this episode. And seeing that, I love this recurring theme about regrets. And Jimmy says he doesn't have any. This shows he's never changed until the end of the episode, which it was pretty surprising. So we got a lot of twists and turns, a lot of emotions going on in your boy Shuggy's mind. But we pick up where we left off last week. Jimmy on the run. He got the cops called on him by Carol Burnett, Marion, of course, and I honestly, my real emotion at this moment was fucking get him, get Jimmy. I don't know what it was. Last week he was about to kill somebody, even though I've been following this guy for 6 years, even more if you count Breaking Bad. I can't look past that he was going to kill people last week, and I want him gone. I want his karma to come out, and that's exactly what happens in this episode. We get a brief scene of him on the run, and I'm glad we didn't get a full episode of him on the run. I'm really glad that they decided to take things in a way that we might not necessarily expect, and I love that he gets cornered in this alleyway and he ends up in the dumpster yet again. Of course, I have to have Bob Odenkirk get in the dumpster again. He was like, "Oh man, I thought it would never happen." But he's got a burner phone. He's got the card for the vacuum cleaner company that is the disappearing guy. And here I was like, okay, is he gonna call the guy and then the guy's not gonna answer? Because the actor, for those who don't know, the actor who played that guy passed away. I thought maybe they would incorporate that into the story, but instead, something even better happens, and it's honestly the more realistic thing because they saw him get in the dumpster. So the cops are waiting outside the dumpster, and that's it. Your boy Jimmy is done for. That's it. It's a wrap. He's fucking done. That's it. Dead to rights. Here he is making his phone call, and his only phone call is to his employees at the Cinnabon. That's all he has. He has nobody, no family, no friends, nothing. He's got nothing. He's lost absolutely everything in this moment. So this part right here with Jimmy pacing around in the cell, muttering to himself, I believe that this is a callback to the very first episode where he is in the bathroom and he is pacing before he gives his defense for the boys that broke into the morgue and everything. So it was a recurring scene that we got a lot, and so we get a lot of callbacks, of course, because it's the final episode. It's a capper. We gotta tease all the little Easter eggs, all the things for fans to catch. So that's what we get here. And I find it funny that one of the first characters we meet, other than Jimmy, is the guy Bill. And Bill is a lawyer. He was, I believe he was a prosecutor, and then he switched sides and became a criminal defense attorney. And I love it that is who he gets the idea to call in this moment. As he's pacing, as we're getting a callback to the first episode, and I'm pretty sure that he walked in, I haven't seen that episode in a while, but I'm pretty sure Bill walked into the bathroom as Saul was pacing around like that. So I absolutely love it. He sees some kind of graffiti that says, "My lawyer's gonna get you," or something. I don't know if that's a callback. If it is, please let me know in the comment section. I would love to hear it. But I really like this conversation. And it's like Jimmy is doing his last defense. You know, he's pulling out all the stops to convince this guy. He basically gets him to abandon whatever he's doing right now to come to Omaha. And he doesn't even have money to buy him with. And yet he convinces the guy he's still got that power of persuasion. He's one of the most persuasive people on the planet. That's how he is, where he is. And here's one of our next big surprises of the episode. We got Marie. I don't know if she's still called Marie Schrader, but Marie here. And I was not expecting to see her in this final episode. But you see the hair, and right away my first thought was Kim. I thought it was going to be Kim right there. And maybe that's why they had her dye her hair, was so they could do this fake out. Did anybody else think the same thing? That was my first thought. So I absolutely loved that we got Marie in this episode because she is one of the true victims of Breaking Bad. Of course, she had problems. She stole some stuff, but it was all petty theft. She didn't deserve what she got. Absolutely not. And this negotiation scene was so crazy. I was blown away by this scene because he has the gall to ask them to bring Marie in, and yet to this woman's face, this woman who has suffered so much, he has the gall to make the argument that he is as much a victim as Hank is. And it's absolutely, completely, morally unspeakable. You can't even make the comparison, but it's a very convincing argument because he brings out the story about the desert. He was threatened, and he paints this picture that he was always fearing for his life, and that's why he did what he did. We know that that's not the case. We know how the desert thing actually went. We know that Walt and Jesse made an absolute fool of themselves, and that nobody in their right mind would actually be afraid of them, and that it was him that enabled this all along. So we know, even though what he said isn't necessarily false, he did, in a way, tell the truth, but it's very selective. So I love that touch. And the fact that he mentions, he only needs one juror to go along with him in order to hang the trial. And because, of course, the verdicts have to be unanimous when it's as significant as taking away somebody's entire life. So I love that. He puts the pressure on the DA. He mentions that that the DA has never lost a case, and he threatens the guy's reputation basically with this rant, and it works. And the fact that it works is very distressing to me. He is completely convincing, maybe the best lawyer of all time. Not gonna lie, guys. Even though I know the full story, it sounds very convincing. So let me know what you guys think, if you guys agree that it's convincing. And here he is. They spent all night working on this plea deal. Basically, he's gonna plead guilty in exchange for 7 years, and that's it. Dude, he was facing life plus 100 some years. It's absolutely ridiculous that this man would ever be released. But because of that, not only did that's the thing with Jimmy, is it's never enough. Nothing is ever enough. And same with Walt as well. He keeps pushing it further. He wants a specific prison. And he wants to get ice cream delivered to him every day. A specific brand of ice cream as well. This man does not know when to call it quits, okay? He is absolutely relentless. You cannot deny that he is very determined, that he's ballsy, that he's confident. And then we get our next flashback of the episode, and I knew right away. I saw the color. I saw the color. I saw the cot. I saw Jimmy. I knew it's Walt. I just knew it right away. It has to be Walt. This is, of course, in season 5 of Breaking Bad, right as they are waiting for the vacuum cleaner guy to get them their new identities, their transportation. They're laying low for a while. They are laying low together, and then they will be off to their new lives, supposedly. So this is the moment. And if you forgot that the thing he said earlier about being threatened the whole time was a complete farce, they remind you with this scene. So I really like it. And Walt is just the absolute most Walt that he's ever been. It is like so on point with his character. It almost feels it's just so perfect. A perfect encapsulation of this character right here. And these flashbacks are such a fascinating character study on Jimmy, and I really love that they ended the show with just really getting into his psychology here. But Walt, of course, is the focus of this scene. And, I mean, Walt, he's doing the fly thing. The fly episode, he's obsessing over something minute. He can't sleep. He's going nuts, basically. And he's determined to fix this water heater. And then the time machine thing comes up again. And Walt, of course, utterly dismisses it. It's theoretically impossible and physically impossible. He has no room for this conversation. He completely hates this conversation. And then he brings it up that, okay, you're asking me about regrets, so just ask me about regrets then. This is such like the way he's performing it, the way it was written. It's so perfectly Walt. I absolutely love it. That's why I got the Walt shirt on. Heisenberg in full form right here. And I really like centering it back on regrets. And the fact that Walt does have a regret, and it's about gray matter and his two friends that owned this company with him and went on to be very successful. Now, he kind of spins a narrative that they took advantage of his copyrights and that he was kind of like let down by them. Now, we know based on the show that's not really the case, because they offered to pay for his cancer treatments and such. And also, it's kind of implied that Walt had a thing for the lady, who I'm forgetting their names right now, but the lady, the man's name is Elliot. I forget what her name is right this second. But the lady, he had a thing for her. He wanted to be with her, right? And the other friend, they end up together instead. I think it's really a love triangle thing, but he can't even admit that to himself. So he spins this whole narrative about that. So his real regret, I think, is that he didn't end up with the woman. I think. But he says, about the copyright stuff and that they took advantage of him, blah, blah, blah. He spends this whole victim narrative. But I don't even think that he believes it. But let me know what you guys think. But I like that Jimmy seizes on it, and he's like, wow, we could have gone to copyright law. We could have sued for patent theft. We could have sued for all these things. And then Walt's like, you're the last person I would have talked to about that. So it's a great scene. And then Jimmy comes up with something frivolous. His regret is that he did a slip and fall scam and hurt his knee. Very low-hanging fruit. You would think he would say something about Kim. You would think he would say something about Chuck. But no, we're saving that moment for the climax of this episode. So I love this flashback. Let me know what you guys think of the cutscene. Or in the cutscene, in the comment section down below. Wow, I'm out of words right now. But that's because it left me speechless, guys. Boom. But yeah, I love these flashbacks. They're not essential to the story, but they feel essential as having a proper, satisfying ending. Something for us fans to really latch onto. So now we're on a plane, presumably going from Omaha to New Mexico, which is where the crimes that Saul is accused of took place. So that's where he has to go for trial, of course. But his lawyer is on the same flight, of course, because he practices in New Mexico. So, of course, they're going back to the same place. And he stops him and they have a conversation here. I love that Jimmy has to convince the marshal to let this conversation happen. But that's just a fun touch. But basically, he tells Jimmy what's going on with Kim. And because, and I almost forgot, he tried to give one last thing in his plea deal to help sweeten the deal even more about Howard. But of course, they already know because Kim gave her affidavit. So this is him finding out the rest of what is going on with Kim. And here we find out that Kim is not likely to be prosecuted. They're just sitting on the evidence. They're not going to do anything with it. But the civil suit is still going on. And the former Mrs. Hamlin is pursuing legal action. So that's what we find out here. And then Jimmy says that he has additional information he wants to give to the government about Kim. And they leave us hanging, making us think that he is going to throw her under the bus. And I would have absolutely hated that. So in this moment, I was like, I hate Jimmy. He's going to give up Kim, who is the one person who was willing to do the right thing. And then we come back to Kim. And last week I was talking about how it was nice to see her in a normal life. And after even thinking about it for a day, and a lot of people in the comment sections were like, dude, it wasn't normal. She was living a shell of a life. She's not herself. And I after even thinking about it for a day, before I even read the comments, I fully agree. 100% agree. She's a shell of a person here. She can't even make a decision. She can't even answer questions. It happens in this scene right here. They're asking, she went somewhere, I don't remember where, some tourist place. They're like, how was it? Do you think my husband would like it? And she can't even answer that. She has no feelings or opinions about anything. She's just completely neutral, just in a zombie robot mode. So it's a sad portrait that we see here. It's a boring life that she's living. And while it might have been enough for some people to just get by and enjoy her family life, she didn't even seem that engaged with her husband or anything like that. So, or her boyfriend or whatever. I don't think she's got a ring on, so I don't think they're married. But and then she makes her first decision that we see her make, other than turning herself in. She has decided that she is going to pursue her real passion in life, and I legit teared up in the scene, because seeing her do what she wanted to do. When in earlier seasons, maybe even this season, the happiest she's ever been was when she was working this pro bono work, not making money, just helping people that really need it. And here she is volunteering at some kind of social workplace. It's talking about fair housing. I don't know what this facility is. But she volunteers, and right away she's going to answer phones. Instantly, she's right in her element. I think she likes that she's working late. I think she enjoyed working late in previous seasons. She was always in the file room and stuff. And I think she likes working hard and about something that she's passionate about. So it was like really heartwarming to see this and break her out of the monotony of her life before into something a little more. So I was getting emotional about it. And then she gets the phone call from Suzanne, who previously tried to offer her a deal basically to basically admit what was going on with Jimmy earlier this season. But yeah, she tells her that Jimmy's going to make a plea deal, again setting up the same kind of cliffhanger, or that he's going to testify against her. But it turns out to just be a plot by Jimmy, and I absolutely love that. So we are going to continue on here. Now we are in the climax of this episode where Jimmy makes his final stand. And Kim is here. Marie is here. Mrs. Gomez is here. And Jimmy fully admits to what was happening. He has a plea deal where he's going to go to jail for 7 years, a sweetheart deal. Really sweetheart deal. Even the judge isn't buying it. The judge is like, why is this happening? And Bill is there in advisory capacity, and Saul is being his own lawyer. And Bill writes down, don't worry, the judge has a history of always following through with the sentencing recommendation. But Jimmy decides he's going to fall on the sword. Something has gotten through to him, and I think it's the Kim thing, the fact that Kim turned herself in. That fact was enough to make him feel enough regret over all the decisions he made. And he doesn't just admit to what he did with Walt. He admits that he did it for money, that he wasn't scared. He starts off with the same narrative that he spun in the plea deal room, but he tells the full truth, the actual whole truth. The real whole truth. He reveals what happened with Howard. He reveals what happened with Chuck. And that what he did with Chuck was for his own gratification, that he reveled in it, that he was happy to take away the law from Chuck because of the jealousy and animus between them. So, an absolutely amazing scene. I don't even have anything else to really say about it, but I was surprised. But it's just perfect, man. And he does the right thing. And it's all because of Kim. So hats off to Kim doing the right thing, or else he wouldn't have done the right thing. So the rest of the episode is Jimmy going to jail. Jimmy's in jail, and he's popular in jail, as I knew he would be, because he was well known as a criminal lawyer, as Jesse would say. But before we get the final scenes with Jimmy in jail, we have to bring Chuck back, and this is the final flashback of the episode. I love that they saved it for last because of the admission in court that wasn't even related. It's kind of like how Chuck admitted all this stuff about his feelings towards Jimmy in his court case. So I really I think it's the perfect capstone to the end of the series, and they basically have a similar argument to what they usually have. Jimmy's taking care of Chuck, and Chuck says, I could hire somebody to do this. You don't have to do it. And it kind of reminds me of the scene in Breaking Bad I believe it was the final episode, a similar flashback or something where they talk about, Jess and Walt talk about, why did we have the RV? Why do we keep the RV? This reminded me of that, and it's kind of delving into the psychology of why is Jimmy doing what he's doing now? And Chuck is reading The Time Machine by H.G. Wells, of course. So again, talking about regrets and stuff. And Chuck presents it I want to have a heart to heart with you. Thanks for doing this, but really, we know that that's not really what the truth is with Chuck. We know his true feelings at this point. But, Jimmy is determined to keep doing this. And I think he just wants Chuck's respect. But I like the point where where Chuck says, if you're not happy with your life, you can change it. And Jimmy says, have you ever changed your path? Turning it right back on him. And I just, this concept that people are who they are, Can we really change things? Can we become different people? Now, the Breaking Bad universe is the study of how people can change. Of course, the chemistry subject as we got in the first episode of Breaking Bad. So the study of change is what the show is about. And here Jimmy and again, Walt even says you've never changed. You've always been this person then. So he's always been on the same path. So I really like that Jimmy kind of recognizes that about himself, that he almost feels like he can't change. And I like that even Chuck really can't change either, other than the mental illness he's got with the electricity and everything. But yeah, so brilliant scene. There's a lot to break down, and somebody who is going to come back with more attention to detail will have some interesting things to say. Definitely, I would love to hear your interpretations of this scene in the comment section down below, because it's one of the most interesting scenes. Absolutely love seeing Michael McKean again. He killed it as Chuck. And the relationship between these two brothers is a lot of what made this show work. And you can see H.G. Wells right there. So, yeah, I mean, it's really great. And then we get Jimmy on the bus. And, of course, this guy recognizes him. At first, they have an antagonistic relationship. The guy turns around like, do I know you? Playing the tough guy. Because it's prison, of course. And you got to watch staring at people. But he recognizes Jimmy. He knows Jimmy, and everybody on the bus starts chanting, "Better call Saul." I love that. Nice touch, and it's of course showing that he's a criminal, and and he's a lawyer that would have helped people like this. So at least some of their friends, they probably know people that he's helped, and they really probably appreciate him. And he's connected with Heisenberg. He's connected with the cartel, so he's got all these things going for keep life inside. I knew this was going to be the case, that he's going to be a popular guy in jail because of the fact that all these people would have probably gone to him as clients. So, nice touch. And then we get to see Jimmy working in the kitchen, and he's friendly with everybody in the jail. He's, walking through the jail. He is like nodding at people, waving at people, pointing at people. He's a popular guy in jail. So honestly, we kind of knew that. So what was he really giving up? He's honestly probably more popular in jail than outside of jail. So you could ask the question, like, what was he falling on his sword for? Was he really regretful? I don't know. These are questions I'm going to be thinking about. Did he really regret it, or did he just do this to impress Kim, or has some other weird motivation? So I don't know what it is, but I like that we get another capper scene with Jimmy and Kim smoking a cigarette, and a nice little subtle touch is that the cigarette is, of course, in color. So we have the flame that is passed between them in color, and that's just a little glimpse of the past, the color representing their life of crime, and the fun that they used to have together, because she kind of committed a crime by coming here and presenting herself as a lawyer, and her credentials never expire. So that's bringing in the fact that the law is not a perfect system by any means, and it's technically what she's doing might be legal because her card says it's okay, but so the flaws in the system, exploiting that. I mean, in this last moment, this one last kind of bad thing that Kim does, I guess you could say, is to just see Jimmy. And they don't even really have anything to say to each other. It's just like kind of sharing this moment together. So a really beautiful moment. And I love the way the light's streaking across the wall in the similar way to how it was in the basement. And just wow, I'm blown away by this. And then the final thing we get is Kim leaving, and Jimmy is in the yard watching her go. And that's the note we leave on. And you can see the sorrow between them. Like, Kim is sad that they're saying goodbye. So it's kind of a tearful goodbye. So they still have feelings for each other, of course. And I feel like she has more feelings for Jimmy than she does for her new guy. And yeah, we're left to wonder, what's going to happen. Jimmy, of course, speculated that he might get out early on good behavior because he's got 80 some years, 86 years or something, which maybe that's significant. I don't know. 86? Is that the year? Is that 1986? Is that the year that Mike mentioned at the beginning? Whoo, I might need to go back and check that. But yeah, I'm blown away by this, guys. An absolutely amazing show, and I do appreciate that they have a thing at the end that says thank you to the fans, because we get a lot of fan blaming these days and people saying bad things about the fans and, oh, the fans are bigoted if they don't like it or something. It's so refreshing to see people being thankful. So that's really nice. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just blown away by this, guys. I love this show. Amazing. It went out on top. It went out in its own terms. And I'm okay if there's never another Breaking Bad movie or TV show ever again. I don't need it. This is perfect. Honestly, I want them to leave the sleeping dogs lie and just let this be the end, because it's perfect. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever. All opinions are welcome here. And with that, it's been your boy Shuggy, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Peace out.